Okay, ready? We'll bow in. Chris. Yeah. Yeah, you know. Right? Okay, ready? There you bow. Salute. Okay, good. First exercise, hands up, shoulder width, feet, turning. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and stop. To the side. 1, 2, 3. Other side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and stop. Center. Hands up. Reach down. 1, 2, 3. To your right. Left. Center. Inhale. Exhale. Hands up. Reach down. 1, 2, 3. To your right. To your left. Center. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, one more time. Hands up. Reach down. 1, 2, 3. To your right. 2, 3. To your left. 2, 3. Center. Inhale. Exhale. Hands in your waist. Circular movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center cross. Knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center. Okay, neck turning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center. Tilt to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center. Down. Circular movements. 1, 2, 3. Reverse. 1, 2, 3. Center. Hands up. Pull in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Spread your feet. Turn your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Feel more. 1, 2, 3, and stop. Turn. Stretch it out. Switch. 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 Straighten the front knee. Switch. 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 Okay, Sana. Okay, we'll shake it out. Deep breathing, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Okay, shoulder roll. Reverse. And Sana. Palms down. Release. Exhale. Inhale. And stop. Deep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, wrists. Reverse. Okay, palms down. Big circle. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, three. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And stop. Shake it out. Side to sides. And center. Okay, lift. Okay, center. Insert the needle. Lift. Switch. Okay, good. And center. Okay, shake it out. Okay, arms and leg swing. Switch. Okay, and switch to side to side. And center. Switch. And center. Check it out. Hands up, pull in, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Okay, silk really. Switch. Okay, center. Open and close. Switch. Okay, center. Feet parallel. Shoulder width. Circular movements. Okay, low hook. shoulder height. Elbows down. Okay, lower, palms down. Extend. Okay, deep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, diagonal flying. Switch. Okay, center. Cloud hands. Palms down, carry tiger to the mountain. Okay, infinity sign. Form the fizz. Okay, palms together. Strum the lute. Turn, draw the bow. Okay, and to the back. Okay, raise the hand. Okay, palms down, deep breathing. Okay, so we'll go through a few of the sections of the Tai Chi Paradigm form. So we'll do the leg that starts with the brush knee. So we'll face this one and we'll turn to the front. Okay, so this is after stork flap swings. Toe heel pivot. Brush knee 4 times. Okay, how's everybody feel with that? Okay. So in the brush knee movements, when you first learn it, you go like this, and you flip the elbows, you bring the hands down, you separate it, and you push. But then as you evolve, you realize when you turn and you combine the sinking with the legs and the turning of the torso, then you start to blend and synchronize those movements in different phases. So when I'm here, because I'm sinking my elbow, you settle in the knee. And then at the same time, when I start to drop, the hands separate. And then it's ready to pan across like this. Now once you incorporate the turning and the sinking, then it becomes a blend of so that's just tying the movement together. So you have so the difficulty with this is that while you're focusing on one thing, you may forget the other thing. So when we're sinking like this, while you're focusing on this hand, you might forget this hand. So you just have to kind of program this motion into the body and build the timing. Now when I straighten my knee, it pushes the front leg forward, and I straighten the arm, right? Then that happens on the other side. But here we preset the circle, and as we get to this position and we turn, we start to sink. Then we turn and push. We'll go back to the other side. Strum the lute. So we're like this now. See, my arm is slightly angled, and then it comes forward. Then you shift, close the door, form the fists, turn and punch. Sit back, out, in, out. Now square the shoulders, so that means turn your spine more. So your nose, the fist, and the knee. Sit back, turn, spread, and push. Now we go to neutral, turn, stroke out, fists under elbow. Then it's the next section, going to repulse the monkey. Square, forward, turn, straighten. That's part the horse's neigh, or diagonal flying. So when we're here, neutral, there's your setup, here's your twist step, here's your step up, you turn the shoulders, lean forward, diagonal flying. Okay, so that's, the breakdown of the motion. So when we turn, if this is doing this, then this will do this at the same time. Now when I shift forward, I sustain the arm position and relax and create the rounding. Then I step up and I preset the turn. And then I can lean forward and push off the back leg. That's diagonal flying. Now we sit back, find the center, insert the needle. Step forward, adjust the front foot. Now you see, look at the feet, they're parallel. Shift the weight a little forward, open the toe, put this hand here, fan to the back. Okay, so that's how we get into it. We're in the insert needle position. We go forward, adjust, and the hands start to move. And then you sit back into that leg that just folded. See, because we're in a leaning position, and then when we adjust, we're still forward. This is still here. in this extended position. Then as you start to drift back, because this knee folded, it allows you to transfer the weight back. So that's how we get into the positions. So the leg work is the give and take. One bends, one straightens, one bends, one straightens. 45, yeah. Yeah, because, so when you turn 45 degrees, that's, well, when you go down and you drop, it may appear that you're turning, so between here and here. So you don't have to open the shoulder. Don't open it up. Just yeah. So it's really a relative position. So this is what I'm doing, right? So in this instance, if I'm in that corner, my torso is 45. When I turn to here, I'm square to the front. But the relative position to your torso, which is really what you're referencing, right? If I'm facing square here, and I turn 45 degrees, this position is this position. But we lose that perspective when we turn our body into another space, because now we're moving. So that's where we lose the proprioceptives, sort of the understanding in that new space. But once the body gets familiar with the turn, then the transition becomes muscle memory. So because we know when turn like this 45 degrees, or we turn like this 45 degrees, that's programmed into your musculature to know that that's the 45 degree line. Just like when you stand in a shoulder width stance, you can feel the alignment of your toes. So if this foot is here, and you're standing there, after standing in the shoulder width stance for a number of years, you can feel the difference. You can feel that. So that's what your system is telling you, that's different. So you go back to the one that's the one that you're training with. So shoulder width stance is that where you bring your feet together and you open like this, and you open like this, then you're in the shoulder width stance. And you should be aligned, because if I'm like this and I step in then step out, I might have placed that foot in the wrong place. But that won't happen if you measured it like this. Right? So that's what we know as footwork. Because when you start to form, don't we do this? And step up. So that step, or that step. Now this is where you have to find that shoulder width. That has to be muscle memory from this position. Okay, so that's pretty standard shoulder width stance. Okay. Now strum the loop. When we're here, when we turn, you turn back. See, because this is my center line, and I'm like this. If I turn my palm like this, there's that position. Right? Now if I'm like this, and I turn to this corner, I turn it back up, I turn back to here, that's that position. Now when I go like this, I turn like this, and I'm holding this position, and I just turn my torso. There's your center line, right? So that point and this point is the same. But you transition from here to here to here. And then 1, 2, 3, step up. And when you straighten up, it feels like you're thrusting forward, but you're just lifting your body. Okay, and then close the door. You sink your elbows and knees, and you expand. And then you relax. Shift, form the fists, shift, switch the feet, step out, and punch. And back. Out, in, and out. Okay. So in that series of movements you have transitions. When I'm here, I go back to neutral, shift my weight, form the fist. I'm forming the fist, so I move my foot and I move my hand. I settle into my stance, I relax my elbow. I step up and I turn. And then I can launch the punch by twisting my shoulders. But because I'm presetting my turn and then setting up for the punch, that's the body will recognize that from doing movements here and turning and punching. But the preset for the movement, because the integration of the upper body and the lower body become something that has to be recognized as working together, the harmony of movement. So when I draw back and I extend, it's tied to your torso. And then I sit back. Because I'm sitting back, it becomes the drawback again. If I were to punch again, it would do that, and it would be doing this and this. And your hand, front hand and the back hand, has a relationship, so there's kind of a give and take. You don't draw back and punch like that. Because when this is going forward, this is coming back. You see? So between the relationship between this and this and this is the same thing as when we go like this and this and this. So your body kind of over time will start to recognize that there's a forward and back. There's a right and left, and then there's sort of up and down depending on, how it shows up. So once you punch and you draw back, my body's turned like this. So I just turn my hand like this and I turn. I turn my hand like this and I turn. I set up my hand and I punch. So that's all there is to it. I bring my hand here. You turn like this, cross here, and turn back. And go forward. So that's integration of your body, right and left, so that no movement is isolated and no movement is moving independent of the other side. So, yeah. Because now you're talking about integration of motion in space, right? So into space, then functionality, not doing it like this. This is no rotation, just forward and back. So as the movements become dimensional, space and volume, then the movements become this. Actually turn, and forward. So each side does a little bit of to compensate for excessiveness on one side or the motion. So just to give you a sample of what that would be like with Miner's arm. This is easier to see. If my hand is like this and I punched, okay, and he grabbed my hand and I pull back and I just go like this, that's the movement in application. If I go like this and then do this, I created two actions. If I go like this and I turn like this, that's the other side. See? So the movement itself, this is here, he captures. That's one side. This is the other side. But because we're doing it like this, you can see that this is what happens. See? But once the movement is timed and you separate the hands, if he reaches for me, it becomes this. If he came faster, it becomes that. Because the timing between this and this becomes this. So how fast does it go? It depends on how fast that is. But the body doesn't panic because you know this. So it's kind of touch and go. See, so that's how your hands, because it knows the space. See, so when I'm here and I punch and I sit back, there's even this subtle motion inside that movement. See, so what that is the hand is doing this. So when the hand is doing this, it becomes that. You see? So the timing between this and this and this becomes a body, interaction with that motion. So the fact that you're doing this is the timing between this, this, and this. So there's your left, there's your right, there's your center, there's your forward, and here's your backward. So it's all there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you're first learning it, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. But there's no dimensional change. There's no volume and movement. There's no right and left. Only right and left in the hands. But we consider that isolated movement. And isolated movement, it's not as effective. So, but the whole premise is to integrate the body to develop the motor skill to move in this coordinated fashion, and coordination is timing. So what do we develop is timing and movement, and you go back and you go in, out, punch, 1, 2, 3. So all the subtleties in the motion become practical. Without those subtleties, it becomes, simple, but not as effective because it takes a lot more. If you're just doing this, then the space required when his hand comes becomes limited to this, and if I'm not timing it right and I'm not moving, then I could actually be in the wrong space. Whereas if I go like this, I turned away and see. But you also use the mechanics of this as a redirection of force. When my hand is like this, and it takes it that way. But I don't do this. Right? So that's excessive. You don't need to do that because you're reaching out. Once you reach out, you lose your center, balance, but you lose your mechanical advantage because you're overreaching. The reaching causes the strength to diminish. So the law of diminishing returns. You don't. Right. Okay. All right. Deep breathing. Yeah. Yeah. No. You can let it come towards you only to this, in the sense that if you're, a lot of times when you do this and you form your fist and it's kind of rigid, then it stays there. But if you relax your arm, then it allows you to maintain that space. And the other, why that has to be there is because if I block like this, and my arm is like this, if I punch, then this hand isn't doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's supposed to be controlling this. So when he punches, I have to do this. I actually have to go to the outside of his arm in order to reach. If I stay here, it's like that. I have to be like this. But your mechanical advantage here is when you fold it here and turn and then punch. But it has to happen almost simultaneously with this, because while I draw here, I want to make sure that I have control of this. So if I went like this and he was drawing back, I would still want to be in this defensive position. But suppose I go like this and I don't feel like running into this arm and going to the side, I could do this. Divert, block, and then punch. See, so that's what this is. So that's why it has to be in this space. That's your infinity sign. Right. But you have to turn. 45, center to 45, and here. So the reason why you have to turn the shoulder back to here is because the distance. So that allows the arm to come square to center line, and it also allows me to come forward because of the legs. So there's logic to all the transitions. It's just that whether you know how to use the strength or not. But most people are doing Tai Chi for, health reasons, or as an exercise for circulation. But, the better you understand the motion, the more likely you're going to do the movements in this space, which is what you're referencing, rather than that space, which is uncontrolled because it's beyond, your limits. So it becomes excessive. But then the deficiency of movement, if you're doing it and it's too small, then it's not effective because you don't have the expansion, contraction. So, all right, let's do the short form. Elbows would relax and down. Raise the hand, then from the waist, stork flaps wings. Turn. Left side grasps the sparrow's tail. Stroke down, part the horse's mane. Step up, stroke down, part the horse's mane. Cross over, Jade Lady Wake Shadow. Cross over, Jade Lady Wake Shadow. Turn to the front. Cloud hands. Okay, deep breathing. Okay, good. So all the stuff that I just talked about is just to be housed here. That's called verbal transmission. So the information is housed here because the body has to be ready, or the mind has to be ready. So there's different stages of, practitioners here at different time elements here. So depending on how long you practice and when you start to get this information to translate up in here in the body. Up here we all kind of understand what we're talking about. It's in here that it has a little trouble. So because everyone's wired slightly different, the coordination is different, the time factor is different, it's going to be a point in time when the information starts to make sense and your body's ready to receive the information, and you have to, it's sort of accepting it at that point where the body will make it, the changes in that timing or modify the movement so it begins to assimilate what you think it should look like, and that's not always the first time. You have to go through it over and over again. So, all right, let's go through the long form. Joanne, you wanna work with minor on which either way we can go through it just for sequence if you want. Okay, ready? Preparation. Sorry. Okay, deep breathing. Okay, good. We'll bow out. Oh, way ahead. Saved by the bell. How'd you do? Okay. So how many steps did you take? Yeah.
Well, today I haven't done any.
Oh, no, I mean,
I don't get